name is Matt Kuntz. I'm the executive director for NAMI, Montana, and we're a grassroots organization that supports, educates, and advocates for people who live with serious mental illness and their families. One of the biggest things that we're involved with is suicide prevention. I came into this job after losing a family member to suicide. I've worked with innumerable families, either facing a suicidal loved one or after their death. And one of the most important parts of my job is trying to get them to quit blaming themselves, to forgive themselves, and the only way that I think that you can do that is by understanding what suicide is and why suicides happen. If a person can get to that point, they can forgive themselves. And probably the biggest credential that I have is I did nearly lose my life to suicide back in November of 2000. So I know the thought process from the inside out. The main thing to realize is that suicide is not a rational action. It stems from serious mental illness. Between 90 and 95% of completed and attempted suicides happen by people who live with serious mental illnesses such as depression, bipolar disorders, schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder. And those disorders are basically disrupted neural circuits in the brain. As described by Dr. Thomas Insel, that is what a mental illness is, a disrupted neural circuit in the brain. And there's two factors in how you get there. There's a lot of different ways that they can play out, but there's two main factors: biological susceptibility and a person's environment. People can be incredibly biologically susceptible to something like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, in a perfect family, professional, personal environment, and they're still going to end up with disrupted neural circuits. They're still going to live with a serious mental illness. On the other hand, someone may have limited biological susceptibility, but they may have cumulative stresses in their environment. Could be war, PTSD, could be family life, could be a lot of other abuse, or just the basic stresses of living. It all piles on. On the other hand, there are ways that we can affect these factors. Biologically, we can make it worse through alcohol or other drugs, and there may be some help with pharmaceutical medications. On the environment side, a supportive and understanding family can really help a person. The same thing with a counselor, peer support. There's a lot of ways that a person can improve their environment, but the fact of the matter is sometimes they do end up outside those lines, and outside of that line can be a horrible, challenging place to be, causing a level of psychological stress that's overwhelming. And that's where the suicides happen, is out there. And those disrupted neural circuits, it's not a rational thought. So if you come at it looking as a surviving family member trying to say, why did Billy do it? Why did Susie do it? And you look at the reasons, it won't make sense to you because it's not a rational action. You can't perceive it from the outside. You can't understand the level of psychological pain that they're going through rationally. Because if you think about it, the neural circuits that are carrying that psychological pain, very similar to the ones that carry physical pain. And the same level of intensity of if my arm was on fire, that neural circuit would be carrying that pain to my brain, telling me anything, do anything to put that out. And I can tell you that for someone who's experiencing deep psychological pain, it's all that you can think about is those horrible thoughts, and they can be overwhelming. And if you're experiencing that now, please call 1-800-273-TALK, TALK. That's the National Suicide Hotline. Or if you're concerned about a loved one who's showing symptoms of suicide, please call today. Give the guidance so you can help them get the help that they need. But if you have lost someone to suicide, please forgive yourselves. Suicide is a symptom of a medical condition, and it's a medical condition that kills people. The best psychiatrists in the world lose people to suicide every day. No different than the best oncologists in the world lose people to cancer. And I just deeply ask you, please forgive yourself, because you wouldn't carry around the same kind of guilt if you lost a loved one to cancer or heart attack. And believe me, you're no more responsible for a loved one's suicide than you would be for one of those conditions. And thank you.